You do not lose a cold email because your grammar is weak or a comma is off. You lose it in the first seconds because the prospect feels one thing: this is not for me. The real beginner lesson is simple. Relevance beats clever writing almost every time, especially in crowded B2B inboxes. Picture your buyer scanning a packed inbox between meetings, maybe with 47 unread messages. They are not searching for your product. They are triaging noise. Your email survives only if it feels specific, useful, and easy to answer before their attention moves somewhere else, like Slack, a call, or their calendar. Most beginners ask the wrong question first. They ask, "What should I write?" The better question is, "Why should this person care right now, this week, or this quarter?" Once you answer that, subject lines, openings, and calls to action become much easier to build and test. Cold email is a first message to someone who does not know you yet. In B2B sales, the goal is not an instant sale or a signed contract. The goal is a reply, a conversation, or permission for a next step, like 10 minutes on a calendar. If you learn cold email badly, you build habits that hurt everywhere else in sales. You overtalk. You lead with features. You sound needy. But if you learn the basics well, you improve prospecting, discovery calls, and even objection handling because your thinking gets sharper. For beginners, success is not a giant campaign or a perfect response rate like 20%. Success is getting a stranger to read enough, care enough, and trust enough to send back a short reply. That is the first milestone worth chasing before you optimize anything else. A prospect usually makes a snap decision on 4 signals. Do you understand my world? Is this relevant now? Is this message easy to process? And is the ask low friction? Miss 2 of these, and your email starts collapsing fast, even if the writing sounds polished. Before you write anything, decide who should receive the email. A weak list makes every template look broken. A strong list gives even a simple message a chance. Good outreach begins with role, company type, and likely pain, not clever phrasing written too early. Beginners often email whoever is easiest to find on LinkedIn or a website. That creates silent failure. Instead, contact the person closest to the problem you solve. If you sell something that affects pipeline, operations, hiring, or retention, aim at the owner of that result or metric. Here is the difference in practical terms. A bad target is any person with a title that sounds senior. A good target is the person who feels the pain, measures the metric, or owns the team affected by the issue you address every week. Research means finding 1 or 2 signals that make your message relevant. A recent hire, a funding event, a product launch, a regional expansion, or a role-specific challenge is enough. You do not need a biography or 10 browser tabs. You need a reason. Strong beginner signals are simple and usually public. Look for visible change, visible pressure, visible goals, and visible gaps. If your prospect's context changed recently, they are more likely to care. If nothing changed, your email needs even more relevance to break through and earn attention. Your subject line is not a billboard or a slogan contest. It is a doorway. Short beats clever. Clear beats cute. If the email is relevant, the subject only needs to earn one small action, the open. Overpromising here usually hurts trust later and can lower reply quality. A strong cold email sounds like it belongs in that person's inbox, not in everyone's inbox. That single standard improves subject lines, openings, examples, and calls to action all at once. It also protects you from sounding generic, inflated, or copy-pasted. The opening line decides whether the rest of your message gets a chance. Start with context they recognize, not your company story. Mention a relevant observation, a likely challenge, or a trigger event. Show them you are not guessing blindly or blasting the same note to 500 people. A weak opener sounds like this: I hope you are well, I wanted to introduce myself, we are a leading provider. None of that helps the buyer. It asks for attention before earning it, and it feels interchangeable with 1,000 other emails from similar vendors that week. A better opener sounds like this: Noticed your team is hiring 3 new account executives in Europe. which usually creates onboarding and ramp pressure. That works because it is grounded, specific, and points toward a business outcome the reader understands, rather than a vague compliment or intro. After the opener, link the problem to an outcome you improve. Keep it plain. If ramp time is slow, say you help new reps get productive faster. If lead quality is weak, say you help teams create more qualified conversations, not just more activity or more dashboards. One clear outcome is stronger than 5 vague promises. Specificity lowers mental effort. If the buyer can picture the gain, they can judge whether a reply is worth it. Broad language makes your email sound polished, but harder to believe or compare against competing priorities. Beginners often keep adding lines because they fear being misunderstood or ignored. But long emails create a different problem. They demand too much energy from a stranger. In most cases, shorter wins because it respects the reader and sharpens your own thinking at the same time. A practical cold email usually has 4 parts: relevant opener, problem or outcome link, quick proof or reason to believe, and a simple ask. If your draft cannot fit that structure cleanly, the message is probably still too fuzzy, broad, or self-centered. Use this as a checklist before sending any first-touch email. 1. Opener with relevant context. 2. A sharp business problem or outcome. 3. Proof that you are credible. 4. A small next step. If one part is missing, reply odds usually drop noticeably. Proof does not need to be dramatic or dressed up. A known client, a short result, a category specialty, or a sentence that shows pattern recognition is enough. The point is to reduce risk. Buyers want a reason to believe this is not random outreach from an unqualified stranger. A common mistake is stacking too much proof, multiple case studies, awards, links, decks, and a long company description. That turns a simple outreach email into homework. Give enough to create confidence, not enough to create resistance or force the prospect into research mode. Your call to action should be easy to answer in seconds, ideally with a yes, no, or maybe. That means asking for interest, relevance, or a quick reaction before asking for a meeting. A heavy ask creates pressure. A light ask creates movement and honest replies. Compare these 2 endings. Heavy ask, do you have 30 minutes next Tuesday for a demo? Light ask, worth a quick conversation if this is a priority? The second works better for beginners because it lowers commitment, reduces pressure, and invites honesty instead of avoidance. Beginners think personalization means complimenting a podcast episode or mentioning a LinkedIn post. Sometimes that helps, but only if it connects to the business problem. Personalization that does not lead anywhere feels performative, not useful, and smart buyers can usually tell the difference. Here is the counterintuitive part. The more you try to sound impressive, the less trustworthy you can become. Buyers respond better to plain language, clear pattern recognition, and restrained confidence than to hype, jargon, or oversized claims, even when those claims sound exciting. When a prospect replies, they are not rewarding creativity or style points. They are rewarding clarity and low risk. Your job is not to entertain them. Your job is to make the next step feel reasonable, useful, and easy to justify inside a busy day. If there is no reply, do not assume the message failed forever or that the prospect hated it. People are busy. A short follow-up can work, especially if you add a fresh angle, a tighter phrasing, or a simpler ask. Just avoid sending the same email again unchanged. For a beginner, 2 or 3 thoughtful follow-ups are enough in most sequences. More than that can quickly drift into annoyance unless you have strong new context. Keep each one shorter than the first and make sure each adds a reason to respond, not just a reminder. Mistake 1. Talking about yourself too early. Mistake 2. Asking for too much too soon. Mistake 3. Sending broad claims to poorly chosen prospects. If your outreach feels weak, one of these is usually responsible, and often 2 are happening at once. Fix 1. Tighten your target list. Fix 2. Open with the prospect's world, not yours. Fix 3. End with a low-friction question. These changes sound small, but together they transform how your message feels inside a busy inbox and improve reply quality. Try this mental template. Noticed X. Teams in your position often struggle with Y. We help with Z. Open to a quick conversation if this matters right now. It is not fancy, but it is clear, flexible, and easy to personalize honestly across industries and roles. A good beginner cold email is short, grounded, relevant, believable, and easy to answer. It does not try to win the entire deal in one shot or explain every feature. It simply earns enough trust for the next conversation to happen. Write for the buyer, not your ego. Keep it relevant, keep it short, and keep the next step easy. That is the catchphrase: relevance first, friction low,